All right, we live with it. Shalom, everybody. Shalom, everybody. It's your brother Leon the Servant. We back here with another one. Kyle, Kyle out to the Abba. All right. I want to say first, shout out to brother Lee for allowing me to stream on both platforms. Shout out to that brother right there. It's going to be a moment before people start rolling in. I've been having this topic that I wanted to get into for a minute. Man, it's a lot to get into. There's a lot to get into. Let me see something real quick. Let me see something real quick. Let me try to turn that off so we don't have no distractions. All right. Yeah. Shalom, Corey. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. All right. Let's see. We got a few people coming in. We got some people coming in. All right. Cool. We're going to get with it. Being above average in destitute times. Now, I'm talking from personal experience, from different things that I've been currently going through. And I thought, after I came to these settlements and prayed about certain things, I was like, this could potentially help others. So I might want to, share a little bit of my personal side of things, and got some scriptures to get into for people to just have things to meditate on, just to think about in higher detail. And they're also in the description box as well. All right. So being above average in destitute times, it seems oxymoronic, even though it's what we're supposed to do at all times. Fight for a new standard, fight to be the best that we can be. Fighting against normalcy and complacency, fighting against doing things the way that it's always been done, even though it no longer serves you. Fighting against poor leadership, fighting against not having the tools to do the job that is given. There's a lot of obstacles that come when you are trying to set a new standard, when you're trying to be above average, let alone when you're in an environment that is decrepit, when you're in an environment that is corruptive, when you're in an environment that wants or says or proclaims to want you to succeed, but then put things, obstacles, people in front of you that almost make it insurmountable, right? And coming to deal with that and coming to maneuver around that, to coming with having high spirits, coming to still do things with integrity can be seeming very challenging. It's something that can stir the spirit. It's something that can easily beat you down. And we constantly go through these rigmaroles with, well, at least in America, with inflation being at all-time high, with food being more expensive, right? We got elections right around the corner. They're saying we're going to go into a recession again. Gas prices are shooting up, right? And that does a lot to people, right? The lack of abundance does a lot to the human mind, right? And actually, it's oxymoronic because a lot of the things in the world is very abundant, right? But we've built systems and structures off of the lack or the scarcity thereof. So we're constantly finding ourselves in a place where there's a lot of pessimism. We're constantly finding ourselves in a place where there's a lot of fear of what is to come and what is there enough and will there be enough. So one can see how trying to be rational, cool, calm, and level-headed can be an obstacle. Many people may not be aware, but when you are in a state of fear or the state of anger, you actually shut down the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the brain that allows you to rationalize. It's a part of the brain that allows you to be calm, cool, level-headed. It's actually the part that is activated when you do have that peace that surpasses all understanding. So I saw some scriptures, some things that I was meditating on to kind of, boost my spirits, to keep me going. Because there's a lot of times, and I've seen this throughout my life, and I'm pretty sure others can attest to it. But there's a lot of times that you're put in positions where you feel as though you're there to elevate. You feel as though you are there to change things, to shift the social norm. And a lot of times when you start to shift this social norm, there's a lot of hazing, or there's a lot of animosity, hatred for you doing such. And a lot of times we count this as, just what it takes to change different things. And sometimes that is the case, and other times it should show us the corrupted environment we're in, to show us to go cultivate our own, to show us how to make something that is not as unstable, not as corrupted as what is currently present. And let's see, I have Proverbs 10:4, which it reads, "He who has a slack hand becomes poor, but the mind of the diligent makes rich." And I was thinking about that. What does it mean to have a slack hand? And what does it mean? Why does it say that the mind, not the hands, of the wise makes them rich? And that's because a lot of things come down to perspective. That's because a lot of things comes from what side are you standing for, and then there's more than one way or more than one method to get your set agenda or your set goal across. And to forget that method, to forget that path that is carved out. See, a lot of us are working jobs as a means to an end. Forgive me, pardon. Right? A lot of us forget that in the process. Sometimes we try to make friends with people that we really shouldn't be making friends with, but it's to ease the times. And we have these weird exchanges that reminds us that we really don't fit in. We really don't, mesh well with these people. And that's because we're forgetting that this is for a season, this is for a time period, and that your mind is bringing you down back to that of a worker and not of a person who was putting into a plan. So you're being diligent in someone else's reaping their fruits. You're being diligent in someone else's company who has whatever agendas, most likely not positive, most likely not feeding back to your community, most likely not following the Most High, right? And they're pushing those things upon you, right? That's the work culture that you're in, right? And when you go through that, it's very easy for you to come and live in this rat race of working just enough to make ends meet and not live or enjoy the rest of life. A lot of people believe that money is the end all be all. And to be honest, I don't have much. But what I will say is that, yes, it's important to increase. It is important to lay the foundation for your family, but it is also important not to forget to live in the process. Let's see. We have another one. Proverbs 12:24. Shalom, Yehuda Lioness. Let's see. 12:24. Right here, I got my little traveling sword with me. I try to keep one with me at all times if I ever feel inspired. Or I don't have other ways. So Proverbs 12:24 says, "The way of life wins upward for the wise, that he may turn away from hell below." Now, that is a reminder that in life you are always supposed to be in this constant path of improvement, right? Seeing how you can serve, bless others, seeing how you can spread light, seeing how you can be at peace with progression. Not at peace where you are, but at peace with progression. See, a lot of times we have this hasty spirit in these destitute times because we are putting our last, realizing that there is more for tomorrow. There is more than enough spirit for the day, and there's more than enough spirit for the days to come. Remembering that you're not stretched thin. Remembering that you can overcome. Remembering that you serve the Most High. Remembering that you are doing things in a righteous accord so that they may withstand the test of time. We're doing these things for purposes beyond just laying down a foundation monetarily, beyond just laying down a foundation superficially. And with that, there is taxes, there's tolls, there are burdens for doing things in the righteous manner, doing things in a manner that is built well. See, doing things that's built well, you go an extra length, you know. And in my profession of being an electrician, there's a lot of times that we go above what is the standard, therefore that we feel safe in what we are installing. You know, there's things that we have pipes that we run, and the code, right, the standard is that with every 10 feet, they're supposed to be supported. Well, a lot of times there's a lot of guys that like to support it in every 8 feet. Therefore, there's no sag in the pipes when you join them together, right? Even though the code would say that 10 is more than acceptable because that's within tolerance, 8 is going above and beyond. Does that mean that you might use more material? Absolutely. Does that mean that you're going to put more time? Absolutely. Does that mean that you're going to spend time measuring out your distances? Absolutely. But this time is nothing new that we're not used to doing for doing things the right way. There is supposed to be an extra value in doing things the right way, because that is something that is scarce, right? There's not a lot of people of integrity today. Therefore, there is a grand opportunity for those who are integral about the things that they do, trying to rise above just the hum and drum ways. But just like all things, it has to be in the right place where you are needed and not where you see yourself being. And that's the difference. And then only and then when you're walking in that way, will you start seeing this upward trajectory of improvement. Let me get this other one real quick. Actually, hold up. I believe that was actually a different scripture. That was 15 and 24. Guess it was meant to be said. All right, now we're actually going to get to 12 and 24. 12 right here. 24. Okay, it reads this. The hand of the diligent will rule, but the lazy man will be put to forced labor. See, you don't really get to cheat doing things the wrong way. You know, there's a saying that my foreman likes to say is that good enough is not good enough. And what he means by that is that, you know, you could have a chain of events. Like one event is supposed to lead up to the next event. And the first person says, oh, I think that's good enough. The next person says, I think that's good enough. Eventually, good enough cheats so many rules. It cheats perfection by so much that it becomes imperfect. It becomes no good. Therefore, it's not good enough. You know, now is there a reasonable era of tolerance? Absolutely. But moving outside those tolerances, you know, indulging with unrighteous communications, evil communications, right? Doing those things lead to destitute places, destitute situations, not having forethought and foresight. And one may ask, how do you have foresight, forgive me, in a destitute situation? Is, well, what do you see going wrong? And how can you be a blessing to solve these wrongs? Is your mind, is your heart even posturated the right way to see the opportunities, to see how you can be above average? See, there's some people who's not going to understand why they should be above average when they hear that, oh, well, most people live check to check, so that means I should live check to check because that's what my mama did. That's what all my neighbors do. That's the same thing my coworkers do. You know, but not realizing that that's not the norm. See, that might be normal or it might be normalized. It may be common, but it doesn't mean it's right. And by you not being diligent, by you not looking out into the future, you will have to deal with the setbacks of your foresight or the short sightedness, not being able to see past your nose. Being below average comes at a severe cost, because when you don't have, or when you perceive that you don't have much to give, and you ration everything out to be like, okay, down to the penny, that this goes here, that goes there. Oh, here comes a $10 expense. Oh, here comes a $200 expense. But if you would have put more time, you would have put more effort. Something that doesn't cost you more than your essence, you could have avoided these things. See, do not become lazy in times of destitution, because that is the common way. That is where there's a lot of people who go astray, fall off, because they're trying to cut corners. What happens when you cut corners on a foundation? Well, that's not a place that a building can be built. And what happens if you keep cutting corners? You know? All right. Now we also have Proverbs 13:4. And it reads, "The soul of a lazy man desires and has nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made rich." I think I covered that real nice. All right. I'm going to go to Psalms real quick. Shalom to everybody who's coming in. Shalom, shalom. 37. Like I said, once again, I got my little book in front of me and I'm reading it out. All the scriptures are posted down in the description. Give a like, share. If this is your first time seeing me, Leon, this is how we get down. Have you seen me before and you're back here again? Welcome, family. All right. Psalms 37:25. Right here. Now, I've read this scripture many of times, and without coupling it to the verses I said in Proverbs, it didn't make sense to me. But now it makes a lot more sense. Now it resonates. And it reads, "I have been young and now am old, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his descendants begging bread. He is ever merciful and lends, and his descendants are blessed." Well, I've seen plenty of people who are homeless, and plenty of people who live for the Most High and have gone without. This didn't make sense to me. But when I couple it with, have I seen plenty of people who were just as diligent as believing in the Most High, diligent in working and producing the fruits, then a lot of things started making a lot more sense. Right. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with prayer, supplication, fasting. But those spiritual things are supposed to manifest in physical things, whether that's through you physically or seeing other things move. And if it's not doing that, then something's out of order. Something's out of whack. Now, everyone has their own mission. Everyone has their own purpose. So from the outside looking in, I do not know all these things. But just for me, realizing that this is a co-authorship, knowing that there's things that the Most High is expecting out of me to give me more opportunities, to have doors be open. I have to be able to walk down the corridors to even see them. And keeping that in mind, that reminds me that my hand must be diligent. Providing for others and providing for your family, your hand must be diligent. It doesn't have to be fretful. It doesn't have to be full of fear. But it shall be done in a manner that is upright, regardless of the conditions that you are around. This world will fool you and make you believe that it's always been like this. And it shall always be this way. As you see things change in front of your very eyes, as you see rules and laws be rewritten in front of your very eyes, what makes you believe that the power is not within you to affect and influence these things with the grace of the Most High? In Jeremiah 29, this is something I always come back to remind me that even in times of destitute, even in times of depravity, right, that you must work. And not just work in a financial means, but you must perform. And not just perform in a vainful means, but there are things that you, as your person, you know that you're supposed to do day in and day out. And not doing these things will put you in a place, put you in a predicament that you're not prepared for. Put you in a place, put you in a predicament that will be corrupted. This is a time of slavery or captivity, as we say in Jeremiah 29. And these are the words from the Most High to the children of Israel. And I'll take it from there, which starts at verse 4, Jeremiah 29. Thus says the Most High of hosts, the El of Israel, to all who were carried away captive, whom I have caused to be carried away from Jerusalem to Babylon. Build houses and dwell in them. Plant gardens and eat the fruit. Take wives and beget sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons and give your daughters to husbands, so that they may bear sons and daughters, that you may be increased there and not diminished. See, there's a lot of people who don't want to have children in these times because they say times are so tough, times are so hard. But following that philosophy, following that train of thought, then you as a people shall never overcome. And actually, you as a people shall dwindle and diminish and disappear. Because if you cannot figure it out, well, maybe you can inspire your children to figure it out. But you know what? Not even just your children. See, if you learn how to be a blessing to the people around you, to help the people around you, to help your fellow brother, help your fellow sister, then who's to say they don't have the blueprint? See, too many people just want to do everything by themselves. There's very few things that I want to do by myself. There's some things I just haven't found the answer for, so I had to figure it out myself, and I try to provide that for others so that their pathway may be a little bit easier. But I do rest in having friends. I do rest in having a fiance, soon to be wife. I do rest in having family, because one man cannot do it alone, nor by himself. You know? And that is something that in these depraved times, that unity is of the utmost importance. Obviously unified in the right causes for the right reasons. But thinking that one shall be able to weather the storm by themselves forever is not the case. Now, there will be seasons of isolation. There will be seasons of recalibration as that comes. But that doesn't mean that you are in for a proponent of perpetual isolation. That doesn't mean that you are here for a proponent of time where there is absolutely no peace. See, that's what a lot of people take isolation for, is this time period where, you're just going hard in the paint, doing whatever you're doing, and you're still not helping others, you're not blessing others, you're just completely focused on yourself. And how do you know you're making any progress if you're not able to look around and see your past actions to your current actions, to see how your exchanges with people have changed for the better or for the worse? The Most High, if he wanted us to be independent, he would have made us fully capable of reproducing by self, living by self, providing by self. And no human can do that alone. And it reads on, and it says, And seek the peace of the city where I have caused you to be carried away captive, and pray to the Most High for it. For in the peace you will have peace. For thus says the Most High of hosts in the El of Israel, do not let your prophets and diviners who are in your midst deceive you, nor listen to your dreams which you cause to be dreamed, for they prophesy falsely to you in my name. I have not sent them, says the Most High. So there's a lot of people who are waiting for something to take them away from the heartache, from the pain, from the lessons. And unfortunately, until they learn how the Most High is guiding them through these things and showing them how to elevate, they should not make it forward, I should say. They should not make it forward. They'd be stuck, stagnant. All right. Being above average in destitute times. Now I got a little bit more time on my side before I get up out of here. That was the main message I wanted to get across. Let me see what's going on here. The main message I wanted to get across. Anyone got any questions? I'm definitely gonna be posting a lot more often. And my schedule's getting freed up finally. Schedule's getting freed up. Got more music on the way. Chose beats. I really just gotta put the lyrics down and post them up. So maybe in the next 2-3 weeks or so, we got some more music coming out. We got some more collabs with me and Divine Lisa. You guys keep your eyes out for that. Brew Table Talks is definitely back in the discussion of things and how we can revitalize it and move forward with it. I got different types of content coming from me. I got a fitness challenge coming up next week. I got to figure out how I'm going to record that. And that's going to be for, I think, a month long. It's going to be a 30-day challenge to move the body. Peace and blessings, Corey. To move the body. We got some financial things that probably by the end of August, maybe the beginning of September, where we be diving into some financial literacy that I've been accumulating over the last year and a half or so on how it's helped me in certain areas and the blessings that I can see coming forward and through it. Yeah, I think that those are the things I see on my horizon. I might have a podcast with my wife coming up. There's a few different things brewing. And then we're going to definitely get relaunched on a Patreon, and I'm gonna make the Patreon special. It's also going to have a cap limit in it as well. I'll iron out all the details for that in the future. But like I said, I just wanted to come in here with that quick message for you guys, a midday motivational talk about being above average. Remember that being above average is not something that the weak can do. Being above average is not something that a person who isn't sure of how they want to operate in their life can do. Being above average is only for those who know that they have more to give to the world and sometimes get a little suffocated from the restraints of life, gets a little suffocated from the problems, the challenges that come in life, and realizing that you can still overcome and you can still reign supreme. With that being said, it's your brother Leon the Servant back here with another video, here for spiritual edification with practical application. Shalom and peace.